North Carolina State aerospace and mechanical engineering professor Dr. Larry Silverberg is a leading researcher into the field of Santa Claus science. He calculates, theorizes, and dreams about how Santa and his elves could deliver all those toys from the seemingly uninhabitable North Pole.
We think they live underground. There must be some very sophisticated systems for growing food, for air circulation, for all the things that you have to do to endure the harsh conditions. I think it's similar to what NASA is trying to do when we go to the moon and to survive those harsh conditions.
Why do you think Santa would pick the North Pole? Why not the Bahamas?
Oh, the North Pole is a remote location, and in that respect, it's isolated from the rest of the world, and it protects them from some of the dangers that you have in the world.
Dr. Silverberg believes Santa left Norway centuries ago just to get away from it all. Now, once he and his elves perfected North Pole living, they sat down and promised in writing to make and deliver toys to all good boys and girls. It is the elf Constitution, North Pole Constitution. Explain this.
It's the North Pole Constitution. We believe after reaching the North Pole and surviving the hardship of living underground, growing food underground and all of that, they eventually came to the point where they wanted to give back to the rest of the world.
Silverberg released a scientific paper on Santa's super secret operations. His research never ends. On the technical explanation for Santa Claus's ability to deliver presents worldwide on a single night. How deep did this get when you were researching it?
Oh, we had about a dozen people researching it, and I'd say when we spent months developing all sorts of theories, and we've continued to perfect those theories and vet them with different people to really nail this down. Dr.
Silverberg believes Santa spends most of the year collecting our brain waves with sophisticated equipment for gift ideas and to gauge our behavior.
What do you want for Christmas, little boy?
The way Santa Claus knows what we want is he has a large antenna underneath the ground up at the North Pole. We think it spans a couple of miles by a couple of miles with a millimeter-sized grid. It's not a perfect sign. Sometimes Santa makes mistakes. Sometimes he doesn't get what he wants. That's why we recommend that his children still send letters.
And that's how he would know if you've been naughty or nice.
And that's how he would know whether you've been naughty or nice. I think he can tell that. He can tell generally from those brain waves whether the child is thinking good thoughts or not.
Santa can start his deliveries once he's checked his list, twice of course.
In a single night you're talking about over 75 million homes that you have to visit, well over 3 times that many children that have to receive presents.
Dr. Silverberg theorizes that Santa uses advanced physics which stretch our current comprehension of relativity. Essentially, Santa's learned how to squeeze months of work into one night by surrounding his sleigh with a relativity cloud that can warp time. So Santa Claus can stop time, or at least slow it down.
About 6 Santa months corresponds to a wink in the eye for the rest of us when we're watching what happens. So when you have these spottings of Santa Claus and they're just for just a split second, in Santa's reference frame, months can be going by.
Science may also allow Santa to make his toys inside the home instead of hauling that giant sack you see in the paintings and in the photos. Dr. Silverberg believes old St. Nick makes his toys from molecules just like snowflakes or crystals form, beginning with a single particle and expanding from there.
From soot that might be in the chimney or basic materials outside, he can put that together and through nanotechnology grow the presents under the tree, wrapping it all.
What makes you even think you're in the ballpark if no one knows what Santa does?
Well, you know, it's difficult to say for sure how Santa Claus gets the presents to everybody, and it's very possible that in some of our theories that we're off. And so it does bring up a debate. We have other folks who have other ideas on how Santa Claus does it.
Santa's technology is believed to be at least 500 years ahead of our own, so when the scientists try to pin down Santa's operations, they admit it's all theory right now.